Ray Bradbury, a famous author who wrote many novels about the effects of censorship, said this: "There is more than one way to burn a book, and the world is full of people running around with lit matches." He's famous for his book Fahrenheit 451, one of my favorites, where it is law for all books to be burned. This is a type of censorship. As social media grows and connects people, a problem arises. What is appropriate and what's not appropriate? Censorship is a growing problem in two main categories: political censorship and moral censorship. On the political side of censorship, it affects rights and things like propaganda. On the moral side, sex and violence affect movies, art, and music. Internet has also brought up mixed feelings about censorship, and it's a growing problem today. I've written many papers on censorship, and I've studied it a lot. Censorship affects everyone, whether they know it or not. Some of your favorite TV shows may have been censored, and you don't even know about it. So it's important to just understand censorship. The definition I'm going to use for this speech is censorship is defined as the suppression of speech, ideas, and the rights of humans. Censorship can be defined in many different ways due to its philosophical ideals, but for this speech, I'm just going to use that one. On the moral side of censorship, censoring sex and violence in the media has been the moral side of the debate, and it forces questions and principles about values. Roth versus the United States. This case decided explicit content might be obscene. Obscene is anything that is overly violent or overly sexual. And they've developed a SLAP test to see if movies and art are obscene. The SLAP test is defined as this: lacking in any serious literary, artistic, political, or social value. But the question is, how is it possible to portray virtue without portraying the opposite, vice? Film is another main section of the arts that is constantly being censored. If a TV show lacks any conflict, it fails to be a narrative. So without any violence, we can't show the opposite of what's good. The American Academy of Children and Adolescent Psychiatry stated that 20 actions of violence happen every hour in cartoons. Now, this obviously affects kids, so we need to define what's appropriate. What's the appropriate amount of violence to show kids that violence is not okay? Music also has many moral stands and has been made to censor artists from releasing songs or even whole albums. I referenced Ice-T's Cop Killer, and it was withdrawn by the artist after authorities put pressure on him to retract his work. Instead of retracting the whole album, maybe we need to ask ourselves, why is he singing about cop killing? Obviously, cop killing is a very shocking topic, but what social situations is he put in that he thinks that everybody should kill cops? That's what we should be asking ourselves instead of retracting his work in entirety. Governmentship is the other side of the coin. Can we let our government censor press? And can we let our government censor anything? It's really the question. In wartime, governments establish censorship to help rally support as well as prevent enemies from acquiring sensitive information. In figure 1.1, I use the picture of a Nazi soldier stabbing the Bible to show how propaganda appeals to our sensitive sides and it provokes emotion to one side of the argument. As well as figure 1.2, which I show the government actually telling its citizens to censor their own letters to troops so that information doesn't fall into enemy hands. People who say they're for government censorship often say that freedom of speech was never intended to protect against aggressive or dangerous material, which is true. They also say graphic images erode morals and imagination, and that censors help protect society. People who are against government censorship often say that when government can censor one thing, when does it stop? Does government just continue to censor everything until it's just black and white? Explaining why an image or an act is objectable is sometimes a better way to deal with issues rather than eliminating the entirety of the work. As far as the internet goes, according to online market trends, over 1,698 million people are affected by internet censorship every year. China representing 77.7% of the internet that's censored in the world. People have tried to come up with solutions to this. One solution proposed the internet to be a more privatized domain, and another one said that governments should try to slowly regulate or restrain small parts instead of silencing big sections. In conclusion, there's no right way to fight censorship, but sometimes better judgment is just what's needed in deciding whether an action is wrong or right. And as more problems arise on the internet, censorship will be a bigger issue in the future. And just being informed is the best medicine. Just knowing what things are censored and what things aren't censored and how you feel about it is the best way to go about dealing with censorship.